Here with me, I have the newest release, Pixel 9, versus my favorite smartphone of last year, the Pixel 8. These aren't the flagship Pro phones by Google, but they are still flagship, especially at the Pixel 9 price. You know what else isn't flagship on this channel? Our sponsor, nobody. If you have places to be, things to do, and want an answer of which one you should get, I would say the Pixel 8 if you can grab it used for a pretty good price. However, if you can get the Pixel 9 for around that same price or get a decent trade-in value for your trade-in offer, I would say go with the Pixel 9. But if you want to stay to get a detailed comparison, I appreciate the watch time. Just make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, usually I talk about build quality, cameras, and stuff like that first, but I first want to talk about software, and I'll have a future video on how I feel about Android delivering software across all their devices. But the first change I want to talk about is the weather app. And I can't believe I'm doing a dedicated comparison video on a weather app. But yes, the Pixel 9 has a new weather app that is redesigned with a quick AI snippet at the top thanks to the Gemini Nano embedded in the chip. The Pixel 8, on the other hand, has a regular weather app interface that still looks like it's coming from weather.gov. Now, the problem I have with this is it's a redesign more so on the software side, and based off of Google's own press release, they're saying that this AI snippet here is because of their model that is embedded in the chip, and Pixel 8 users have already installed this new redesigned app, so my guess is only time will tell until we get this update. You can also search for screenshots, and there is this new studio mode. Check out my unboxing if you want to learn more about that stuff. I would say the major AI features that you care about is the Gemini app, which will be identical on both devices. So software-wise, they are pretty much the same with some AI features sprinkled on top. It's just the Pixel 8 is higher in terms of their sprinkles, so we'll get those in a couple months, but only time will tell. AI features aren't a deal breaker for me, so if you find yourself creating AI images useful, you gotta go over with the Pixel 9. Google is showcasing the Google Live as if it was really more so on the Pixel 9 side, but as you can see here on both devices,
Hi, I'm Gemini.
pretty much the same on both devices. All right, so now let's talk about the things you probably care about, and it's gonna be the most noticeable difference the moment you take the Pixel 9 out the box, and it's the design. I usually say design changes are all personal preference, but after using both devices, I can say that the Pixel 9 is objectively a better design for a couple reasons. First, the Pixel 8 is a much more curved device where the Pixel 9 is a more boxy device. That's preference. Objectively, I'll say the boxy design is easier to hold in the hand without a doubt, especially if you intend to hold it without a case. If you slap on a case, the grip is probably going to be identical on both devices. The finish on the back is the same. We do have a Victus 2 glass versus Victus 1. Personally, I don't really know what that stuff means, but just know that I guess the glass is more scratch resistant and durable, but probably check out Jerry Rig Everything if you want to know how good the back glass is compared to last generation. But the darker colors, the fingerprint magnet is still here on the non-Pro devices, but the buttons and the overall build quality without a doubt is better on the Pixel 9. The Pixel 8 is still using that slightly more blown out volume rocker design that is susceptible to popping out, things that I've kind of experienced on the Pixel 7 series, but the Pixel 9 has kind of foregone that idea or design, and it's more of a flat approach, and it's also softer. The other thing you'll notice is that the SIM card tray has been moved to the bottom of the Pixel 9, and it kind of does mess with my a little bit OCD, and it's not symmetrical on the bottom anymore. So on the bottom now we have the SIM card tray, but that's not what you guys really care about. Let's talk about the most significant upgrade, which would be the displays. The Pixel 9 is a better display on paper. We have a slightly bigger display, a slightly brighter display, a more contrasty display, and a better build on the display. So usually generation from generation, phone displays don't change much, but Google has made some improvements here. Even looking at the menu colors and the overall UI interface, the colors on the Pixel 9 just seem to pop a bit more. And just so we both are aware, me and you who are watching the video, the colors are actually set to natural. I used to have adaptive on, but the colors are a bit too much on that setting, so natural looks to be more, hate to say it, natural. But overall, the colors still seem to pop a bit more on the Pixel 9. Let's open up an album and compare some photos real quick. I want to take a look at these leaves here. Now, they both look pretty similar, but there's just a bit more pop on the Pixel 9, and that's definitely due to how the brightness and the contrast are handled on the Pixel 9. We have double the contrast that we have on the Pixel 8, and the Pixel 9 also gets brighter as well. So just moving across these photos here, you'll just see that it's ever so slightly brighter in parts of the photo. And I really do think that is what pulls the Pixel 9 in the right direction or the better direction compared to the Pixel 8. Looking at this next photo here, once again, very comparable, but you'll see towards like the head of this shape here that there's just a bit more color that's being displayed, or not color, more so the brightness being displayed on the reflection of the light. Get out of here, Cadova. On the Pixel 9. Moving over here, this is another great photo. Just look at the overall lighting. Once again, the Pixel 8 display is not bad. I want you guys to get that through your head, but the Pixel 9 just has that slightly brighter, contrasty, vividy more color. I don't think vividy more is a color, but hey, want to put that out there. This is another good comparison. So if I were to, stack these on top of one another, you'll notice that the Pixel 9 is on top, just has a bit more pop to it when it comes to the colors. You guys tell me what you think down in the comments below of which one you prefer. Here is another selfie here. And, if I were to zoom in, you'll see that even the colors on the Pixel 8, for me, in this instance, I would say look more true to life. The Pixel 9 seems to kind of be overblowing a bit of the whiteness that's going on. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos.
Oh, because the water currents keep them going. Yes. Oh, okay. That is cool.
I would say that these are pretty comparable. Unless you have both these devices side by side, the average person isn't going to know. But since this is a comparison video and I have both these devices in front of me, the Pixel 9 is the better display. But the Pixel 8 display is still, I would say, one of my favorite displays that I've used on a Pixel device. Now, when we talk about viewing smartphones outside, I will say the Pixel 9 is easier since the nit count is higher, but I typically wear sunglasses outside, which makes viewing most smartphones outside in direct sunlight easy across the board. There's no LTPO technology, so the lowest refresh rate on the non-Pro devices, the 8 and the 9, is 60 Hertz, but it does go up to 120, so we do have fluidity when it comes to moving through the menu and just overall throughout the entire device. But I would actually recommend against using the always on display just because since it doesn't go down to that 1 Hertz, your battery life will definitely take a significant hit. Because I think with always on display, it's better to have the LTPO or LPTO, whatever. It's better to go down to the lowest Hertz than the 60 Hertz that's always being ran. All right, so now I'm going to play a quick HDR video with both brightnesses turned all the way up, and you guys can also hear the speaker difference and tell me which one you guys prefer. So another test that I'm doing because it was requested by popular demand is call quality, because guess what? Yes, people still take phone calls when using their cell phone. So here's a quick call test using the cell service and HDR calling enabled, with Wi-Fi being the second test.
This is a quick test to check the call quality on the Pixel 8. I'm speaking at a normal volume, testing how clear and crisp my voice sounds on the other end. The volume is maxed out on the speaker. I'm using cell service instead of Wi-Fi calling. This is a quick test to check the call quality on the Pixel 9. I'm speaking at a normal volume, testing how clear and crisp my voice sounds on the other end. The volume is maxed out on the speaker. This is using cell service instead of Wi-Fi calling. This is a test to check the call quality on the Pixel 8. I'm speaking at a normal volume, testing how clear and crisp my voice sounds on the other end. The volume is maxed out on the speaker. This is using Wi-Fi calling instead of my cell service. This is a quick test to check the call quality on the Pixel 9. I'm speaking at a normal volume, testing how clear and crisp my voice sounds on the other end. The volume is maxed out on the speaker. This is using Wi-Fi calling instead of my cell service.
The Pixel 9 introduces the new Google Tensor G processor. The Pixel can game, although I wouldn't really consider this a gaming device as a priority, especially by Google. And compared to previous generations, this is the coolest chip with the best battery life that I've ever seen on a Pixel device, excluding the Pro series. I'll say, if you're coming from the iPhone realm, from the iPhone 14 or 15, or the Galaxy realm with the Galaxy S23 or S24, you'll be satisfied with the battery life on both the devices. Google is claiming 20% longer battery life than the Pixel 8, and surprisingly, with the brighter display, the slightly bigger display, the G4 processor has got me through the day and then some. Although the Pixel 8 was already doing that if you go back and take a look at my day in a life video. And the Pixel 9, I will say, in that day in life video was doing things I normally wouldn't do on a smartphone, like recording 4K in direct sunlight for like 15 minutes straight, and the battery still got me through the entire day and then some. So pretty impressive battery life when it comes to the Pixel 9. The camera are an interesting difference because Google really likes to lean in on the software optimization side of things. So looking at the physical differences on the back of the phone, I personally like the Pixel 8 design. It could just be my brain has been accustomed to how Pixel devices have looked in the past couple of years, and the redesign is just a bit different. Although with this newer lens that we have on the back, it's just a bit too obvious for me for what the Pixel 9 is doing with the new pill-shaped design instead of this visor design, what we called on the previous generation. The main camera has remained the same, and the ultra-wide has gone up to 48 megapixels. Most conditions, I'd say that the photos look pretty comparable. If anyone tells you the Pixel 9 looks better, it's most likely stemming from the brighter display and how it's able to reproduce those photos on the device. However, there are situations where the Pixel 9 won't overblow things as much, but the Pixel 8 and all Google phones have pretty capable photo taking capabilities. The reason why I say photo taking capabilities is because the video department on Pixel devices have always been a bit of a hit or a miss. There's a lot of jittering that goes on, and the Pixel 8 does have pretty good improvement compared to the previous generations, but it still doesn't feel like a proper video camera versus a photo camera. The Pixel 9 takes it up a notch, especially with the front-facing camera, which is amazing now that it comes with autofocus. Someone left a comment that the Pixel 8 already has this, but it doesn't, and I'll prove it. So this is the front-facing camera on the Pixel 8. I do have the speech enhancement on because my air conditioning is going off, but just to show you guys the whole auto-focusing with the front-facing lens, it does not exist on the Pixel 8. So here's a pack of Uno cards. Look, I'm just always in focus no matter what. Always in focus. There's no like de-blurring that's happening. Let's switch over to the Pixel 9 and you'll see it immediately. So this is the Pixel 9 front-facing camera. You guys let me know how it looks and sounds. Speech enhancement is still on, and just like the Uno cards, more in focus, and then de-blur. You see that? That is the autofocusing that I'm talking about. It does not exist on the Pixel 8. Watch. even this. Boom. So highly recommend if you want a good camera, the front-facing camera, Pixel 9 and Google just knocked it out the park. I'm gonna do it again. Boom. If you're a person who wants really good video quality for yourself, Pixel 9, hands down. The stabilization isn't as good as the back, but for the front-facing camera, this might be one of the best that I've ever used on any smartphone. Google has also changed the fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 9, so instead of an optical sensor where there's a bit of a flash underneath, it's using an ultrasonic sensor. This was actually one of my biggest complaints since biometrics is a feature that should have like a 95% passing rate. While I don't think it's there with the ultrasonic sensor, it's much higher than the optical sensor on the 8. Both devices get 7 years of OS software support from Google, which is great. But the question boils down to, which one should you get? For me, if money is an issue, which I always preference, what is your budget? My devices always go for the previous generation. And the previous generation of Pixels are really good, which I'll get into in a second. Now, if you're doing a trade-in and getting decent value from your previous phone, or if money isn't that big of an issue, of course, get the 9. Get the latest and greatest. If you want the best battery life, the best camera, and future-proofing yourself with upcoming AI features with that built-in model into the phone, the Pixel 9 is really your only choice. However, I'd be perfectly fine with the Pixel 8 and skipping out on the Pixel 9. Google made a really solid phone last year, and it's still standing the test of time a year later, although the optical sensor did not do me justice there. But the exclusive AI features I'm believing are going to make their way over to the Pixel 8 and future software updates. But even if they don't, none of those AI features are really compelling to me, right? I don't really care about generating AI photos on my device. The screenshot search functionality is great, but I probably would use it a couple times here and there. Gemini is the selling point, and that is really just an app on your device. Should I get the Pixel 9? My point exactly. So hopefully you found this video informative. Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. Next up, S24 versus the Pixel 9. I think that's going to be a pretty good video.